Now at noon, the snow has stopped, so street crews will continue collecting fallen leaves. And now that the House has formalized the impeachment inquiry, we're looking ahead to the next steps in the investigation.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at noon.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mark Kane. Thanks for tuning in to News 3 Noon on this Friday. Cold, a few flurry chances this weekend. Let's head over to the Weather Center. Meteorologist Chris Reese has a look at your first alert forecast. A little quieter today than yesterday.
It is a lot quieter, especially as we head towards this afternoon. But one of the things that we are watching is the cloud cover that's already on the increase ahead of that next chance to see some wintry precipitation. That is going to be arriving in a matter of a couple of hours here. Here's visible cloud track right now, just showing you the clouds over the snowpack that we certainly do have on the ground. Weather track paints a little bit different of a picture. You see where we've had the snow that tried to come down at some points earlier today, but the ground is still very dry and the air is still very dry. So a lot of that didn't quite reach the ground, but I do think we'll see another wave of some snow along with rain mixed in develop later on towards the evening rush hour. In addition to that, I'm tracking an extended stretch of cold as we head through perhaps the first part of November. All of that will be coming up with details in just a few minutes.
And it's supposed to be, what, 50?
The average high is 52. 52 is nowhere in the forecast.
20 degrees.
Yes.
All right, we'll check back in a few minutes, Chris. Thank you. Well, today the Madison Streets Division will resume curbside leaf and yard waste collection. The Halloween snow caused delays, but leaf pickups are not over. Crews will collect bags or loose yard waste piles that can be identified under the snow. To find out when they're collecting in your neighborhood, you can check the pickup schedule map at cityofmadison.com/yard waste. In Chicago, a 7-year-old girl is critically injured after being shot while trick-or-treating last night. She was out with her family around 5:30 when a group of men chasing another man began shooting. The girl was shot in the lower neck and is fighting for her life. A 31-year-old man was also shot in the incident. He's in stable condition. Police do not yet have descriptions of the men involved. Not guilty pleas have been entered on behalf of Richland Center's police chief, who's charged with sexual assault and theft. A judge in Richland County Circuit Court set a $5,000 signature bond for Lucas Clements this morning. He's on paid administrative leave. A criminal complaint says he groped a female bartender repeatedly last June, then stole her tip money. Developing this afternoon, a Madison substitute teacher is on leave after the district says they used a racial slur with a student. This happened at Hamilton Middle School. In a letter to parents, the district said the incident is under investigation and that their top priority is supporting the student involved. Madison police investigating a fight that broke out in the East High School cafeteria yesterday afternoon. The school's resource officer called for backup and 10 officers responded to the school. Police say the initial fight was between 3 students and that sparked other confrontations. Parents of one of the students got involved, but it's not clear if they were physical with anyone. Officers are reviewing surveillance video and interviewing witnesses. Testimony resumes next week in the impeachment inquiry. Yesterday, Democrats passed a resolution that sets the ground rules for the next phase of the process. Nicole Killian has more on what to expect from Capitol Hill.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi took Democrats' case for the impeachment process to The Late Show with Stephen Colbert.
The most important thing for the American people to realize and understand is no one is above the law.
Thursday, the House passed a resolution laying out the ground rules for public hearings, which could begin in mid-November. Every Republican voted against the resolution, calling it a sham.
Process matters, and substance will always win out in the end, and this president has nothing to worry about.
The rules allow President Trump's legal team to be a part of the process, but those rights can be stripped away if the president doesn't cooperate with the investigation.
They give us an opportunity to call witnesses, but if the chair says they don't like the witnesses don't come forward.
In both Clinton and the Nixon impeachments, the minority did not have the right to call witnesses on their own unilaterally.
The investigation into President Trump's dealings with Ukraine continues. Democrats say they could release transcripts from closed-door depositions as early as next week.
Thursday, Tim Morrison, the president's top Russia advisor, confirmed to lawmakers military aid to Ukraine was held up by President Trump's demand for the ally to launch political investigations. However, Morrison also testified he was not concerned that anything illegal was discussed during the call between Presidents Trump and Volodymyr Zelensky.
It was positive in so many ways, and I look forward to the American people getting to see what he had to say.
President Trump says he may read the call summary of his conversation with Ukraine's president on live television. Nicole Killian, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
And former National Security Advisor John Bolton has been asked to testify about the president's Ukraine policies next week. New at noon, the number of times tobacco appeared on screen in PG-13 films is increasing. According to the Centers for Disease Control, there was a 120% jump between 2010 and 2018. The findings come as skyrocketing e-cigarette use erased previous years' progress in ending youth dependence on tobacco. Madison police want to know what you think about the job they're doing. The department is launching a community survey asking people to rate how the officers in their neighborhood do on everything from being visible on the streets and fighting crime to whether they treat people fairly. It also asks how worried you are about things like break-ins and assaults in your neighborhood. We have a link to the survey on channel3000.com. The East Side is getting ready to host a big celebration this afternoon. The fully remodeled Garver Feed Mill is hosting its open house, starting with a ribbon cutting at 3 p.m. Garver's tenants will showcase their products and services, plus offer deals. There's a coffee roaster, a florist, photographer, spa, vegan cafe, and a distributor of sustainably caught salmon. Registration for the event is full, but you can register for a tour or history panel discussion happening tomorrow. We have a link to that on channel3000.com. A Milwaukee girl who was rescued from a fire 11 years ago is paying it forward. During a September 2008 duplex fire, one little girl was stuck inside until firefighters came to her rescue. Now, 14 years old, that little girl is saying thank you. Kiara got together with the firefighters who saved her for the first time. Captain Ann Sardina left behind a hose line and rushed up a burning staircase to find Kiara near a window in respiratory arrest.
There was a TV going, and we didn't even know what that noise was because you couldn't even see the lights from the TV, so that's how dark the smoke was.
Giving thanks to the firefighters was important.
This year, Kiara helped out firefighters during Fire Prevention Week. She says she was inspired by the many female firefighters who helped rescue her that day, including the captain. Well, there's more to come on News 3 Now at noon. Up next, we'll see what Howard's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
We've got a way to make your Halloween candy disappear in no time. And it's not magic, but it sure is tasty. I hope you had a good Halloween. I know he did. And whether you were out trick-or-treating with the kids or passing out candy at home, there's a pretty good chance that this morning, when you walked into the kitchen, you were greeted with a big bowl of leftover candy. And if you're thinking, how the heck am I gonna get rid of all of this? Well, we have an idea. The first thing we do is beat some butter with white and brown sugar and a little vanilla. Next, we add a couple of eggs, and once this comes together, we slowly add our flour that we mix with a little baking soda and salt. Now it's time to grab a handful of those chocolate bars, chop them up, and add them to our batter. Just seeing where this is headed is getting me excited. Okay, now we spoon our batter into a baking dish, and after smoothing it out, we top it with even more candy bars before popping it in the oven. Once this is cooled, we cut it up and serve them with big glasses of milk. And the nice thing is, every time you make these, you can change up the type of candy bar to give it a new personality. To get the recipe for our Halloween candy bars, all you have to do is visit our website. I'm Howard with Kelly and her new friend in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a crazy good candy way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
All right, Howard, thank you. Next at noon, cold with a few flurry chances this weekend, and we're not getting above 40 degrees for a while. Chris has your first alert forecast next. Our Call for Action phone bank is open right now, ready to take on your consumer issues. You can call the hotline. Volunteers will help you with any consumer complaints. The number is 608-270-2833. The service is open every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday between 11 and 1. UPS makes a big hiring push today in preparing for the holidays, and Amazon is starting up holiday deals early. Diane King Hall has your Money Watch reports.
Job growth slowed in October, but not by as much as expected. According to the Labor Department, the economy grew by 128,000 jobs last month. Those gains came despite a more than month-long strike by GM workers. The nation's unemployment rate did inch up to 3.6%. What can Brown do for you? UPS is hoping to hire 100,000 workers to meet demand for the holiday shopping season. Its big push is today with a hiring binge in 180 cities across the country. The company is reportedly making job offers on the spot during the day-long event dubbed Brown Friday. Thanksgiving is coming and people are making their holiday travel plans. The Travel Channel says more than 2/3 of Americans plan to use vacation days or other paid time off to hit the road for the holidays. The vast majority of people surveyed say they plan to drive. 42% of people plan to return to their hometowns. And Amazon is kicking off the holiday shopping season with some early deals beginning today. The e-commerce giant is offering discounts on electronics and other typical holiday gifts like gloves and socks. There's also a deal on a vegan teeth whitening kit and a list of Mariah Carey's must-haves, including her music and adult onesies. And that's your CBS Money Watch report. For more, head to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the New York Stock Exchange, I'm Diane King Hall.
All right, Diane, thank you. Let's check Wall Street at the noon hour. The Dow Industrials up 239 points on that jobs report. The NASDAQ up 60, the S&P 500 up 22. Pam is off today, so here are your farm numbers. Chris is here now with a look at our weather. The records just fell yesterday.
Records certainly fell. We've been in this active period, Mark, of just record-setting weather for the past couple of days, and it almost seems like since last year. We've been setting records left and right. This one, the snowiest Halloween on record. 4 inches of snow fell between midnight and midnight yesterday, making Halloween 2019 the snowiest, but also it was the snowiest single October snowstorm with a grand total of 5.1 inches for Madison. Milwaukee also set that record. Same for Chicago, same for Rockford, Illinois, and we also set a new one. We were the snowiest October ever on record at 8.1 inches, beating a 102-year-old record of 5.2. So we didn't just barely beat it, we shattered that record out of the ballpark as we went through yesterday. And the funny thing is, here we are on the first day of November tracking yet another chance to see some snowflakes falling out of the sky. Whether or not they stick, that's going to be a different story. But we've seen the system come through earlier today. It's all one system that's kind of coming at us in pieces. Now, the radar lit up with some snow earlier today, but the air is still very dry. So a lot of this did not ever truly make it to the ground. There may have been a few of you that saw a flake or two falling out of the sky, but still, the air being dry is going to keep things dry for us, at least for the next couple of hours. But we're going to be watching this as we go through the rest of the afternoon, because I think towards the evening commute, we may get just enough moisture in the atmosphere to see some light snow and rain breaking out. Temperature-wise, though, we're above freezing, so I don't expect too many road impacts. Winds are out of the south at 9 miles per hour. That temperature for us is at 35. Janesville is at 37 right now. Same for our friends in Monroe. Lone Rock also at 37. Boscobel at 40. And La Crosse is at 41. So we're certainly seeing the influence of some of those warmer temperatures moving on in, and that's good news. It's really going to help those road conditions, and it's going to help that snow begin to melt somewhat that's actually on the ground. And the more we can get that snowpack to melt, the warmer we will have a chance to be as we go through the rest of the weekend and early next week. But here's 5 o'clock. You see that light snow breaking out. Again, that could be mixed in with some rain, especially the further west you are, where that snowpack is a little less, so that air is able to get just a bit warmer. By 8 o'clock, a lot of this starts to move on towards the east. There may be some lingering showers and flurries on the backside of that. And that will track through the overnight hours. And then 7 o'clock tomorrow, we're waking up in the morning on Saturday. I wouldn't be surprised to see some additional flurries around. But overall, this weekend is going to be a lot drier than we were going through this week. Temperatures, though, are really going to be staying into the 30s. Folks, there are still some high school football games going on. If you're going to be going out tonight towards a high school football game, grab a jacket. Some flurries will be possible at kickoff. We will keep those temperatures in the 30s. Wind chills will be in the 20s, and that's somewhat going to be the similar story for the farmers market tomorrow. If you're going down towards the Capitol, it's one of the last outdoor markets of the season, and temperatures will be in the 30s. There will be plenty of cloud cover. Tomorrow's afternoon high will likely be right around 36 degrees. And beyond that, we're tracking multiple waves of cold. This weekend is not the only one. Once we get you towards early next week, we'll see another shot of cold that comes on through here. Towards the end of the next 10 days, perhaps another bigger shot of cold that comes on through. So folks, when we look at that probability of temperatures to be below normal across the upper Midwest, that's not just the next 6 to 10 days. That goes all the way through the 14th of November. So I hope you like the cold, because that's what you've got, and there's nothing we can do about it. Mother Nature just does the thing, and we are along for the ride. Our average high right now is 52 degrees. We do not have a 52 in our forecast.
No,
the only
don't.
40s are Sunday and Monday, so embrace the 30s, and with all of that, you deserve an extra hour of sleep. You'll get that Saturday night into Sunday.
A little reward, I guess.
A little reward, yes. That's how we'll look at it.
All right, Chris, thank you. Next at noon, Angie Edge from the Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin is here. She'll have a great dish to make to bring to Thanksgiving dinner. Stay with us. Welcome back. Angie Edge from the Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin is joining us on a rare Friday because you're going on vacation, lucky you.
Yeah.
To Arizona, get away from this. So Thanksgiving.
Yeah, so it's November 1st, so we're already talking about Thanksgiving, and we have a great recipe for you. It's a mascarpone pumpkin pie square.
Okay.
And it's rich and delicious, full of 3 Wisconsin dairy products. So the base layer of the pumpkin pie square is very easy to make, but it has, of course, real butter, and then there's a little bit of graham cracker crumbs, ginger snap crumbs, flour, and then you're gonna mix that together with some brown sugar and layer that on the bottom of a 9x13 baking dish.
Okay.
The middle layer is where the goodness comes in because you're gonna use 1 tub of mascarpone cheese, and this is a great dessert cheese. It's very
sweeter?
popular. Yeah, it's a little bit sweeter. It's buttery. It's creamy. You can spread it on different toast and jams. It goes great with strawberries, honey, but it's usually used in a traditional tiramisu dessert.
Okay.
But if you look for these containers, we have several Wisconsin cheesemakers that make mascarpone. The Crave Brothers is right over in Waterloo, so local cheese, and it's actually made right on the farm. So it's a farmstead cheese and an award winner too. We made.
Yeah, they do some great work over there.
Yes, I won the American Cheese Society first place just this summer. So
wow.
You know I always bring the best ones. So I got a little sidetracked, but we used the mascarpone in the filling. There's a can of pumpkin pie filling, and then some cinnamon and some allspice, along with some eggs, and you're gonna bake it in the oven for about 45 minutes. And then the fun part is you're actually gonna top it off with some caramel. So you're gonna have 3 different toppings. You can either make your own homemade caramel, or you can buy it store-bought. You can top it off with some pecans, if you like nuts, and then also some real whipped cream.
Of course.
So what's pumpkin pie without some whipped cream on it?
It's Thanksgiving, you might as well indulge, right?
Yeah, so it's absolutely delicious. There's whipped cream, mascarpone, butter, all great ways to support Wisconsin dairy farmers.
All right, the recipe online.
Online at wisconsincheese.com.
All right, thanks, Ange.
Thank you.
Have a good trip. We'll see you next month. And Chris has one final check of the forecast.
We'll see a chance of a light wintry mix as we head through the afternoon. This could bring really very little impact to the evening commute other than the roads getting wet at a point in time. So be mindful of that. The rest of the forecast stays very chilly, folks. Get ready.
All right, that's our time for now. We'll see you back here at 4. Have a great afternoon.